Folks, we'll start in just a moment. Speakers come up to the side over here. I'd appreciate it. Thanks. Sure got quiet in here real quick. My name is Joshua Rubenstein, and I'm a captain with the Cosumnes Fire Department, which is up in the Sacramento region. And I would like to thank all of you for joining us today for our daily community meeting. I'd also like to say thank you to the viewers at home that are watching this via Twitter and Facebook, and for the local news agencies that are carrying this live. If you would be kind enough to silence your phones for me so we don't have any interruptions. And for those of you that might need to use a restroom, they're in the foyer of the facility right upside the aisle. The men's are to the right, and the women's restroom is to the left. I have a favor to ask of the speakers. For the viewers at home, If you'd be kind enough when you come up to begin your presentation, if you would identify by name who you are, your rank or position within the organization that you hold, and your role on this fire, we would greatly appreciate it. That way those folks at home are a little bit more well informed. Following the last speaker's presentation, I'll have them all come up on stage. We're going to change the format a little bit. In the past, we have been doing live questions from the audience. We're going to actually have them come up here to the front of the stage, and you folks can come up and have one-on-one interaction. We're not going to do any live microphone type of question and answer periods. And with that, I'm going to introduce Chief Jeff Pemberton from CAL FIRE, and he's going to start off our today's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and good evening. Again, my name is Jeff Pemberton. I serve as an assistant chief for CAL FIRE, and I'm also assigned as a deputy incident commander on CAL FIRE Team 4. We're at 270,500 acres and 45% contained. If we keep up this positive weather that we keep asking for every day and we keep getting over the last couple of days, we expect our containment numbers to start bumping up even more, which is great news for us and everybody that's in the room and watching. With the upcoming weather event that's scheduled to take place Wednesday night, we are doing seek and destroy missions that you'll hear from the operational folks here shortly that are going out painstakingly with GPS Latin longs to look for those hot spots to make sure we have them all out. Once we're through that weather event, we feel very positive that we will have everybody back home by the end of the week. We would love to have you back home sooner, but we just can't put you into that risk. The smoke that you've been seeing today is all in our favor. That's all stuff that we've been doing to bring fire down to Highway 33 and take it up to the Zaka fire, which allows us easier access not only for mopping up, but being able to patrol that. And that does not put any residents at risk and is actually a huge benefit to all of us. One thing that we've talked about over the few weeks that we've been here, I hate to say few weeks because I don't like to be on a fire that long, but everything we do, we're trying to get you back home quickly so we don't have those long times. But we've talked about the cooperative interaction between each of our public safety agencies and the private sector, SoCal Gas and Southern California Edison, and how we all work together. One thing I want to show you guys tonight is a video of a night flying helicopter. This helicopter staffed by both County Fire and the County Sheriff's Department. This is one of the reasons that we have so much success and so many structures saved every night. What you're looking at right now, you can go ahead and play the video, is night vision goggles that allow us to see heat signatures and use that helicopter to do seek and destroy missions and support those ground crews so that they can cool the flames down so that they can get in there on the ground and actively start suppressing that. It's also very important for us, especially at night, it's to be able to know where the fire is going. And these types of aircrafts, which there's not very many in California, we're trying to grow our fleet every day. But this is one of those collaborative, cooperative endeavors between public safety agencies to serve you, the community. This particular helicopter has flown 11 night missions, performed 108 water drops, and have logged over 35 hours of night missions on this incident. I'll be happy to take questions afterwards. This is probably it is the riskiest thing we can do in our air program, and that's one of the reasons why it is so limited and so restricted. But you can see the huge benefits from being able to be airborne. And with that, I'll pass it on to the next speaker. Thank you.
Good evening, Chris Childers, Santa Barbara County Fire Department, and a battalion chief at home. And on this fire, I'm the Santa Barbara Deputy Operations guy. Along with my partner, we're running the show on the Santa Barbara side. I guess I could push this up, probably help, wouldn't it? Okay, we've had an excellent day today. The wind and the weather has cooperated just like I was hoping last night it would. And so we've got a lot of good progress in the backcountry here. This is pretty much dying on its own, where we had an island between our backfiring operation and the edge of the fire over here. Can you see that red dot? You got it. You got your hand there helping. So that part is looking quiet. This road is holding nicely. Probably will be blackened very soon. And these slopovers over the road are being put out and taken care of all the way around. Again, the most recent slopover was here above the Camino Cielo. Taking care of that, and now we come around. Here was one of our problem areas. You notice this area here is above the Jesucita shading right here. The gray is the Jesucita fire. So this is older fuels. And we have where it jumped over the first dozer line, and it's between the two dozer lines. This is the area right above Flores Flats, if some of you seen it on a map. And so we have a lot of work to do in there. And right now, there are hand crews and strike teams of engines up there laying hose and cutting line around little fingers of flame and little fingers of burned areas to make sure we have direct line around all of the area up here so that is definitely safe by the time we get ready, get this wind event in 2 days. And the same thing is happening throughout here, cutting line around spots, and down in the front country. Everything that's any heat they find, they're seeking and destroying. And we've given them the infrared images from last night that tell us where there was heat last night, and they're out there taking advantage of that, putting it out. So I have a few pictures of some of the guys that are up there doing it. I'm not sure if we'll get them or not, but let's see. So I talked last night about cutting line and how we make a line black. We actually physically cut the fuel away from the fire's edge. And these are some of a strike team of Santa Barbara County fire engines is up there on top of the world. So these firefighters are the same ones that are going to respond to a medical aid in your house or the structure fire next month, if and when it rains and we get out of fire season. And they're up there right now on a strike team of Type 3 engines, which are brush trucks. Needed to cut these areas, needed fire line around these little heavy heat areas. And so you see with chainsaws and hand tools, they're cutting line around these little areas of heat. You can see the flame, the burned area right up in here, and they're cutting line around it right here. So that's what our guys are doing up there, and I've been bragging about all the hard work. You can see there's some pretty physical labor involved in what we're talking about. One more picture. No? That's it? Okay. So that's what's going on. We're doing really well up there right now. This kind of work, plus the front country kind of work, which I don't have pictures of, but in the middle of the battle, there was a lot of hand line cut in certain little areas, and there was a lot of engines putting a lot of water right on homes and right on fire. And the fact that we had them here ahead of time and had the pre-planning time, the fact that we got them in there and they were familiar with the areas, so when the wall of flames came down, they could drive in those driveways because they'd already seen it in the clear daylight, made it all the difference in the world. And that's why we did not lose very many homes. And I don't know the official number yet, but it's coming soon, and there was a lot of heroes up on the hill that day. Any questions, I'll be here afterwards, okay?
Hello there. My name's Cheryl Benson. I'm the acting forest supervisor for the Los Padres National Forest, United States Forest Service. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you, the citizens of Santa Barbara and Ventura counties. You know, this fire has really touched a lot of our communities, and I just want to specifically name those communities while I have a moment. Fillmore, Santa Paula, Ventura, Upper Ojai, Oak View, Castilla Springs, Carpinteria, Summerland, Montecito, Santa Barbara, and Goleta. You know, there are so many stories that are coming out of this fire of the amazing things that you're doing to take care of yourselves, to take care of one another, to watch over your neighborhoods and your communities, and to ensure the safety of both yourself and of others. Just yesterday, I had the opportunity to meet this little boy that told me the story about how he was able to go to the pet shelters to help walk, as a volunteer, to help walk the dogs there, and how proud he was to be able to do that. And it just really touched my heart to be able to have a chance to meet that young boy. It was just so special. You know, we could not be as successful as we have been without all of your help. So on behalf of all the firefighting agencies on the Thomas Fire, we want to honor you for the effort that you have made to help us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bill Brown. I'm the Sheriff of Santa Barbara County. I'm here to talk to you about the Sheriff's mission in this incident, which is to evacuate people, to warn people of potential for pending evacuations, and to provide security for those areas that have been evacuated. And we have some good news today as a result of some of the good news that you've heard about and the progress that was made on this fire. We've had a number of changes to the evacuation order and evacuation warning areas. And a lot of people were able to go home today. And just like to briefly give you the border areas and let you know which areas have changed. The evacuation order has been reduced to an evacuation warning in all areas from Toro Canyon west to Olive Mill Road, from Highway 101 north to Highway 192. And those are areas that are in the Carpinteria area. Pretty much all of the Carpinteria area is now opened up, and the easternmost sections of the Montecito area. The evacuation order and warnings have been lifted from all areas east of Cravens Lane to Casitas Pass Road and Foothill Road north to East Camino Cielo. And that, as I indicated, includes most all of the Carpinteria warning zones or evacuation zones. And the evacuation warning has been lifted for the area defined within West Mission Street at Highway 101, east to State Street, north to Constance Avenue, east to Garden Street, south to Los Olivos Street, east to Alameda Padre Serra, APS, south to South Salinas Street to Highway 101, and from Highway 101 east to Avenida Padre Serra, again APS. And those are areas within the city of Santa Barbara. And the evacuation warning has also been lifted for all areas and residences south of Highway 101 to the Pacific Ocean between Ninos Drive east to Sheffield Road, and all areas from Toro Canyon Road east to Casitas Pass Road between Highway 101 north to Foothill Road and Highway 192. And again, that is the Montecito area as well. It's that area that's predominantly to the east and below the 101, east of the eastern area of Montecito and below 101. These changes to the areas have resulted in, and we still have, by estimate, about 16,000 or so people who are in the evacuation areas, but we have reduced the people affected by the warning areas from about 30,000 down to about 10,300. Again, I want to remind everyone to please stay vigilant and aware of what the current fire conditions are. We had a good day yesterday and a good day today. We're certainly hoping for another one tomorrow. There's some concern about what could be coming in the next few days after that. So we want everyone to stay tuned and stay connected to what changes are. There may be some additional changes forthcoming tomorrow or the next day. and hopefully once danger is felt to be mitigated to the point where we can lift the evacuation orders, we'll be repopulating a lot of other areas as well. Please continue to adhere to all road closures and evacuation orders, and please drive slowly and yield to any emergency personnel or vehicles that are in the area. I want to shout out a few thank yous tonight. We had an incredible turnout from our law enforcement partners for our mutual aid when we called. We received officers and deputies from throughout the Tri-County area. So San Luis Obispo and Ventura counties came and responded to help not only the Sheriff's Office, but the Santa Barbara Police Department and all the law enforcement agencies in Santa Barbara County in providing people to staff the road closures and to provide security patrols within the evacuated areas. We will be continuing to provide those patrols. We are assisted also in that endeavor by the National Guard, and we're very appreciative and grateful for their assistance. The unit that we have is down from the Sacramento area and draws from people from throughout Northern California, and they're doing a terrific job. They're staffing a number of the barricades and the fixed posts to prevent people from going into the closed areas. And then lastly, I've tried to single out a group of people to identify and thank for their efforts. And tonight I just want to thank the people of Santa Barbara County generally. The support and the response that we have received throughout this fire has just been tremendous and very uplifting. And the cooperation and the generosity that has been exhibited has really been second to none. We've had people who have come in and provided a significant number of Starbucks coffee cards. We had people that have brought in, I think they cleaned out a bakery somewhere because there were so many cookies and cakes and pies and all kinds of things. And we even had some venison sausage that was sent to us from Texas. And so we had caffeine, carbs, and protein covered last night. And lots of diets that will be starting in the new year. But we thank you very much. And I also just want to do kind of a personal shout out and thank you. Today at lunch, the undersheriff and I were having lunch in a restaurant in Santa Barbara, and I want to say thank you to the two ladies who paid for our lunch and left before we had a chance to go over and say thank you for that. So thank you very much for your generosity.
Good afternoon. I am Cindy Ponce. I'm the Santa Barbara, California Highway Patrol Captain. I am in charge of all CHP operations for this Thomas fire. So we are pleased to report that all off-ramps, with the exception of Hermosillo off the northbound 101, are now open. So we just have one off-ramp closed. We will be closing the 154 in the morning again from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. to allow for ingress and egress out of the Lake Cachuma camp. So please continue to use the 101 as an alternate route in the mornings. And we just thank you so much for your patience with all these closures. We are manning 26 fixed posts along the 192 and Olive Mill Road. We're not allowing traffic north of the 192 or west of Olive Mill Road. We completely understand that everybody who's in a mandatory evacuation zone just wants to go home, and we want that for you too. However, it's just not safe to go in those areas yet, and until it is, we're directed to keep everyone out. So please follow the directions of our officers at these closures. And tonight, I really want to thank all the wonderful men and women who are working at the Emergency Operations Center here in Santa Barbara. You guys would be amazed to see how much goes on behind the scenes at the Emergency Operations Center. And those are your county employees. They are amazing. So you should be very, very proud of the hard work that all of them are doing. They stopped doing their day jobs, and they are focused on getting everything that's needed to get all the resources out to the men and women working this fire, law enforcement, first responders working the fire. So huge shout out to all your county employees. They're amazing. And like Sheriff Brown said, the outpouring of support from the community has been absolutely overwhelming. Us too, we're going to have to go on a diet too, because our folks are being fed day and night. People will come out to the closures and give them food. I mean, just the overwhelming support and heartfelt kindness from the community is overwhelming to us. So we just thank you and continue to thank you for your patience and your support. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Matthew Teeter, spokesperson, Public Affairs, the American Red Cross. I want to report out on two things. First of all, the shelter at UC Santa Barbara, and also mention some volunteer opportunities. The Red Cross continues to operate a shelter at UC Santa Barbara. The good news is that our population has gone down today from Saturday, when our population quadrupled at that center in about 2 hours. Today, at midday, we were at 168 individuals. Many people left as the evacuation order, the line of the evacuation order changed. We do have some people still coming in as their situation may have changed, their temporary shelter, whether it be family or friends, changed, and they're now welcome at the American Red Cross shelter. We will continue to operate that shelter as long as it's needed in the community. I want to give a big shout out to the University of Santa Barbara, who has just been an amazing partner of top-notch professionals who are available 24 hours a day, that are really enabling us to make sure that's a very comfortable place for people to be. We've had an outpouring of support from the community, and about 1,700 people have signed up to volunteer for the American Red Cross in this area and Ventura County. We are operating volunteer orientations every other day. Today was the first one in Santa Barbara. The next one will be Wednesday and then Friday. If you're interested in helping out, you can go to redcross.org/volunteer, sign up, and then join us for the next orientation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Judith Smithmeyer. I'm the Communications Manager at the Food Bank of Santa Barbara County. I want to express on behalf of everyone at the Food Bank our gratitude for everyone who has been working to keep all of us safe. We had staff members evacuate the first night, run out of their homes at 2 in the morning in Ventura with their children and pets, and Saturday all the way up to our CEO was evacuated. So this fire has certainly hit us personally. And we additionally, of course, are seeing the need in the community that's resulting from the Thomas Fire. Since the fire began, the Food Bank has collaborated with the Red Cross to provide snacks and water and healthy, fresh produce at the evacuation shelter at UCSB. But the impact of the fire has reached so far beyond those displaced by evacuation, and that's what we're seeing among the people that we serve. Local school children, we're missing more than 28,000 meals every day in the Santa Barbara area that the schools were closed. Most schools were closed for 7 days straight, so you can do the math on that. And this school meals are a really critical source of daily nutrition for these children. Many of them receive breakfast and lunch at school, so that's 2 meals of their day that just disappeared unexpectedly starting last week. Additionally, some families, many of the parents of these kids are losing work. They're experiencing really sudden and precipitous loss of income. Their places of employment are closed or cutting back hours. So the need for food has shot up dramatically since we've opened our 5 emergency food distribution sites Just last week, our entire contents of our warehouse turned over 2 times just in the week that we were providing emergency food distribution. So the need is huge and ongoing. It's great to hear about the evacuations being reduced and people being able to go back home. And it'll be great when people can get back to work, but the feeling of the fear of that loss of income is going to really continue for quite some time. So what the food bank has done is, in addition to providing as many services as we could that were ongoing, many of our partners closed also due to air quality or evacuation zones. So some sources of food distribution were eliminated because of that too. In response, we have opened food distribution sites in neighborhoods that are identified as high need in the area. So I'd like to list where these locations are operating every day this week, Monday through Friday, and will also be operating next week, I believe, though confirmation of that will be forthcoming. In Goleta, at the Food Bank Warehouse at 4554 Hollister, next to the Page Youth Center, we're giving out food every day from 1 to 3 this week. Downtown at the Food Bank offices as well at 1525 State Street, next to Cantwell's, from 12 to 2 every day. On the east side, Franklin Neighborhood Center will be offering food distribution from 12:30 to 2 p.m. every day at 1136 East Montecito Street. We're working with the West Side Boys and Girls Club to distribute food on the west side at 602 West Anapamu Street from 12 to 2 every day as well. And in Carpinteria at St. Joseph Church at 1500 Linden Avenue, food will be distributed from 12 to 2 as well. This week on Thursday only, we also have 2 distribution sites in Isla Vista. One is at the Ivy Youth Projects at 970 Embarcadero del Mar. They're open from 3:30 until 5:30 p.m. That's this Thursday, December 21st. Also at St. Mark's Parish, Catholic Charities is going to be offering food beginning at 3 p.m. at 6550 Picasso Road. Everyone is welcome, anyone is welcome, and no paperwork is required. So it's really open to everyone in the community. The public is invited and welcome to attend. Okay, in addition to these emergency food distribution sites, we're also launching this week a healthy lunch program. Like I mentioned about school kids missing all these lunches, that need is going to obviously continue throughout the break because schools are on vacation during that time. So we're launching a healthy lunch program that will run until school resumes in January to fill these gaps. Details on where those will be forthcoming, but we'll be offering single-serving lunches that will have something, for example, a turkey and ham sub with some fresh carrots and apples or oranges and some milk. So that's another way that kids will be able to get their daily nutrition that they're missing right now. So the community need is huge. We served 6,000 people last week just during our limited hours of the emergency food distributions. Like I said, twice over we turned over the entire contents of our warehouse. We're getting food from lots of donations, lots of community sources, lots of interstate sources, national level sources, Feeding America, other food banks. Bimbo Bakery donated 5,000 loaves of bread. So all that's going out to the community. The school district donated some other products that they had on hand as well. So donations are urgently needed, monetary donations. We, too, have had a huge outpouring of volunteer support, and we're super grateful for that. None of this could happen without the community volunteering and stepping up to help us operate all these sites. And people donating tons of food, also very helpful. The food bank can turn $1 donated into 8 meals, so we can really leverage monetary donations to have the maximum impact. And those donations can be made at foodbanksbc, as in Santa Barbara County.org. Also, if you want to sign up to volunteer, again, foodbanksbc.org. There are big tabs where you can volunteer, big tabs where you can donate. And to find out more information, I have flyers with me, or you can always look on our website. We're keeping that up to date with where our emergency food distributions are taking place, as well as on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram profiles. So thank you again. We're super grateful to everyone who's keeping the community safe, and our partners who are hosting our emergency food distributions. And our hearts go out to everybody affected by this fire, both directly and secondarily. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Suzanne Grimacy. I have been working at the Emergency Operations Center. I work in the Joint Information Center there. When I am not working at the EOC, I work for the Santa Barbara County Department of Behavioral Wellness. And I want to recognize the impact that this fire has had on us all individually, but also as a community. It's been felt by all. The impact of the evacuation, people needing to leave their homes at a moment's notice, and without any advanced preparation, others having to make the difficult decision of when to leave, what to bring, how to prepare, worry about pets and loved ones, staying away from home or at shelters for days on time and not knowing when they can safely return. We have had a significant amount of displacement from families, and not only those in the situations of evacuation, but our many responders, our first responders, those working in the Emergency Operations Center, have really been displaced from families now since the start of the fire, and the impact with that. We have had complete disruption in our daily routines, from the start of the fire affecting our power and electricity, our air quality throughout the county, transportation, work, finances, school, childcare. It has disrupted our lives. And it has left us with an undermined sense of safety, not knowing how the fire will turn, not knowing when we can go back to our homes, not knowing if things are safe when they're left alone. How blessed we are to have the community that we do and know people are out there protecting and fighting and taking care of us. We are an incredibly strong community. We've been through wildfires before, and we have come out okay, and we will with this one as well. We truly are an amazing community. It's so important to remember during this time, because it will keep going on for a while, to take care of ourselves and to take care of each other. Also to know that there's a lot of others out there with resources to provide support. There are flyers in the back of the room. I'm not sure if you have them now. And on them, they have the phone number for the Thomas Fire Information Line, where you can get information on the fire, you can get updates, you can get information on evacuation areas, things that have changed, but you can also call and get support. You can call that number to speak with a counselor. You can call that number to request transportation assistance if needing to evacuate. And that number again is 681-5542. So I encourage you strongly to know that this will go on for a while and to take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We had the same bakery fairy visit the EOC at about 4 in the morning the other night. So look out for each other and reach out for support. Thank you very much.
Hi there, I'm Jennifer Adame, Community Outreach Coordinator for Santa Barbara County Animal Services. We are still accepting animals, but we are also starting to reunite animals with their owners, and we want to thank you for being patient with us in that process. We're still caring for over 1,700 animals at all the different shelters, and it's a process to get them back with you. I also want to remind everyone that if you left your birds or other animals behind for some reason, you can call our hotline and we will get an officer up to your property to make sure that they have food and water. By the same token, if you no longer need that service, if you can please let us know, that would be wonderful. Some people, because we had such a huge influx of animals on Saturday, some of those animals were moved to our Santa Maria shelter. The people who are affected by that do know, and we would ask you to please give us a call in the morning of the day that you want to reunite yourself with your animal, and we can have them back down here between 3 and 5 in the afternoon. You are always welcome to drive up there and get them as well. I also want to thank everyone in this community for their outpouring of support for the animals and for us during this time. It's been overwhelming, and I am proud to be a part of this community. Thank you.
Thank you. A thought came to myself. We at the Incident Command Post, or the Incident Base, receive a lot of donations from members in the community. We're very appreciative, both for not only the fire service, but for law enforcement personnel as well. Toothpaste, toothbrushes, socks, underwear, things along those lines. And I just want to share with you and the viewing audience, when we leave our home units, whether we are a chief officer, a public information officer, or somebody on a fire engine, we're self-sufficient for a period of time. We make a commitment that we are going to be gone for at least 14 days. Not all fires go 14 days. Obviously, this one has, and it's going to go far beyond that. But we leave with changes of clothes. We leave with toiletries. Within about 36 to 48 hours, we have an infrastructure that supports us with food, showers, toilets, and whatnot. We thank you for your thoughts, and if you wanted to make a donation of some sort like that, go ahead and steer it towards the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, or one of those other entities that can get those items to the members of the community that may need it. So I thank you very much for your attention today. We are not going to pass the microphone around. We're just going to change the format up a little bit. Like I mentioned earlier, all of our guest speakers will be here at the front of the stage, and if you'd like to ask any questions one-on-one, please feel free to do so. As of right now, this meeting will be held again tomorrow unless it's changed with the decision-making up above my head and pay grade. So thank you very much, and have a great day.